My goodness. A lot of fishing has happened in the past, definitely. And you know what else happened somewhat recently? And two of you actually were there.
All right.
MomoCon. MomoCon just finished up, and overall, like, we do want to give our dedication to Splatoon. It's been 10 years, thank you. But going more towards the topic of looking over towards Sendoku Season 7, MomoCon is an event that happened and is looking to have one of the teams in the Sendoku event to that has participated in MomoCon. So, Hammy Kion, how did the event go from your opinion, as you were both there in person?
I'll defer to Hammy first, if you don't mind, because I can go on for forever here.
I mean, in terms of the actual competition, everyone kind of knows the story. I mean, Moonlight showed up to MomoCon. There wasn't much competition. People knew they were going to win. The only real story was, are they going to drop a single game the entire weekend? And they didn't. Ace of Spades, Go, Yogurt, a couple of other like pickups that had a chance at even just competing against Moonlight, just couldn't really end up taking that final step and getting those wins. So Moonlight they're playing hot. They didn't drop a single game. That is a really, really, really good position to be in, especially for your first LAN win and going into the Sendoku finals on the weekend. Like it's a good result to get a week before something big like Sendoku finals.
And I feel it's a goal to piggyback off of that, especially Hammy, is when you look at the list here, like there were a lot of teams that honestly could have competed with Moonlight, but I feel like Moonlight, the bigger story was, as you know, it was undefeated. Go ran the crazy run of a lifetime there. That's the free flow pickup that featured JJ and Parks, for example, for few. But then you saw, like, from the lower bracket side, Ace of Spades that featured Len as well, and then you had Yogurt. That's the ball of pickup. They ran through some really, really tough competition throughout. But of course, Moonlight. Hey, we also got to saw the trophy and the medals that Moonlight actually got at the end, which they, by the way, posted in their social media as well. And those look pretty stylish. But yeah, I feel like a lot of teams that could have competed with Moonlight, I don't think Moonlight basically had the chance to run into them, or they already just dismantled them and winners brackets leading up to that point.
Real question, side topic. Moonlight did a Twitter poll to see who gets to bring home the trophy. Who won the Twitter poll?
Yeah,
do we know who won that?
Who
I have
did
no
win
idea.
that?
I'm not on Twitter.
I haven't used Twitter in months. I have to like find their.
Right.
Oh, Basil won with 33.8%, beating Omega by 0.5%.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Barely anybody voted for Nolan. which I'll say, okay, Nolan is the only member who flew to MomoCon. Rest in drove.
Wow,
So Shadow was actively vouching for people to not vote Nolan so that the trophy would actually make it to someone's house.
You know what? I at least applaud the fact that maybe we shouldn't bring the trophy in the actual luggage area. No, just take it home in a car. Also, just seeing the trophy there in person is especially when I was chatting with Raze at the end of the day was whoa, that looked pretty neat. They get to take
a nice
their troubles. It is, actually.
All trophies that are at LAN events are always very nice. Like Riptide had some like a really nice like clear trophy plaque combination that just said like Splatoon 3 winners for Riptide whatever year it was, and it was just like, wow, why can't we have more of that?
You know what's funny is that I don't know if you guys saw that on stream when Austin was emceeing for the trophy presentation. They actually did have the clear plaques as well for MomoCon. So I think they had. I think from the stage perspective, and I think a few of us will correct me here. I think they had the clear plaque Then they also had the medals there for the winners, and they also got to take home a trophy. They got a lot of awards for the undefeated run here in MomoCon as well. And I think with the other adjacent tournaments that were there at MomoCon, they also got the same rewards there too. So yeah, Moonlight kind of took home a lot of swag, I like to say, from MomoCon, just from winning the tournament. So they went all out.
Yeah. And outside of just Splatoon, like how was the event as a whole?
This is the one I get to explain because
because an hour vlog that you uploaded earlier today.
Thanks for the plug. Thanks for the selfish plug. 66-minute vlog already up on YouTube. But no, I mean I was there primarily not just for Sports Splatoon. I had a lot of friends that were running the other departments there. I mean, if you went there, so if you go there versus like your typical LAN experience, Riptide and LTC, you were talking about almost 26 rows of merch, maybe 29. I don't even know the exact number. It's probably 28. They also had they also had panels as well. If you even care, if you cared about those, but they also had so many. They had so much you could do over there, because when you go to Riptide and LTC. They also had the history wall there too. If you go to Riptide and LTC, by the way, you're pretty much there for Smash and Splatoon for the most part. So you're pretty much surrounded by this. They had everything. And Hammy, I think this was correct me if I'm wrong, this was your first ever big convention that you've ever been to?
I've been to. We have like a local convention here. I'm very rural, so like we have it's like a sizable convention for the size of the city, but I've never been in a building this big, like at MomoCon. Like you physically, if you went to the Splatoon section, which is in the back half of the room, you couldn't see the other wall. It's just that far that like you can't like see the wall. It's a long walk. And yeah, like Yoan said, there's like 30 rows of vendors. There's different panels. Since coming home from MomoCon, I have heard double the amount of things about MomoCon that happened, that I just like events that I didn't know were going on whatsoever. And like apparently there's a powerlifting competition there.
Right there, yep.
And I'm like,
it was actually one of the vendor rows.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, like there's a lot of like every time you think you've like figured out most of the things at MomoCon, somebody's like, oh yeah, by the way, I just went to this thing last night, and you're like, what? Like what? Why is this here? Like what is like? And on top of that, too, Atlanta was just busy that weekend. There was like a international robotics competition in the same building. There were multiple concerts, one in the street next to it, and then other ones like nearby the same night as the rave. There were like multiple parades happening. Like very overwhelming for somebody from like a rural area.
That's also to get into fact is that there were also 2 Atlanta sports games, so traffic was even more crazier than before in Atlanta. So like it was crowded, and being that this was so for full disclaimer, I knew what I was going into because this was my 4th ever MomoCon. In the past, last year when they announced the Splatoon tournament, I was like, y'all, you do realize that I'm also going over there too. So I guess I had to support you guys the minute I arrived. That's almost a near given. Last year, so this year, I mean, it was huge. The building, you never felt cramped, and you couldn't tell because the building looked huge. It was like 55,000 attendees going out to MomoCon. It just did not look cramped at all. Like it was very spacious. The only thing that quote unquote sucks is be ready to do a lot of walking. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, like every single time I just watch something related to MomoCon, like I remember watching last year's vlog that you made, Keon, and you said it was like a 22-minute walk to the Splatoon hall from your room.
Yeah, so I was staying at a hotel like far east of the rail line at the time. I was with 3 other friends as well, who do not even know that there was a Splatoon tournament. Like we were all just going over there. From the room to walk over to the venue, because it was building B, look it up for the map for GWCC. They basically from my hotel over to the actual Splatoon hall was definitely around 22 minutes. You basically need to have the best kind of legs to basically be able to walk that far. And if you happen to stay at the venue, it's still an even further walk. I actually timed, in both versions of the vlog, I timed from the stairs entrance all the way down to the entrance, because it was basically the same entrance as before. It was around 6 minutes to get from point A to point B. So yeah, it was pretty extensive. You were walking for a while, but hey, it was a great workout. I was not complaining at all, and it was I'd still do the trip if it all worked out in the end.
And to go off that too, that's 6 minutes to get in. That's 6 minutes of walking to. That's 6 minutes of walking to get ready for a day of walking. That's
And I was staying at a hotel this year that was like right next to the rail line, and that was already 10 or 15 minutes just to walk from there to there anyway. So it's like, well, at least I got the best shoes I could ask for this kind of walk.
I wore Crocs.
You wear Crocs.
Wore Crocs the entire weekend. It's the only pair of shoes I brought.
Was that the same Crocs you had everyone sign?
Yeah, I brought a single pair of Crocs with me, and then got every Splatoon player to sign them, and then like it was worth it. It was awesome, but like my feet were. I wore sneakers when I got home because I had to go to work the next day, and it was like a heavenly experience. As much as I love Crocs, like there's my Crocs from MomoCon. I got as many Splatoon players as I could to sign them. I only got like half the attendees. There was like 80 people. It was so hard to find like everyone because there were people who I knew specifically didn't sign them, but I just couldn't find them throughout the weekend because there's so much happening. It's a hectic weekend for sure.
I applaud you for only bringing Crocs to the event. I didn't realize you did. I'm like, oh, you made the rookie mistake of wearing uncomfortable shoes. Leads me to it. See, because a story before, excuse me, I'm having a snack in between, was a couple years ago I brought the worst walking shoes, and it actually, figuratively speaking, not literally, it messed up both my legs throughout the entire weekend. So I had to actually walk at a snail's pace, like kind of just, a little bit of scooting over and over just to get my legs back into shape. It was ever since then I'm like, okay, I need a pair of running shoes, and that just kept me going for a long while. It was awesome.
It sounds like just a general amazing event. Like conventions in general are just fun to go to. Like I've been to Riptide. Yeah, it's not on the same scale as like definitely not by miles for sure. But you'd have to look at something else like MagWest or MagFest in general to be a somewhat comparable experience.
You know what's funny, Vapor, is you literally brought up Riptide and there as well. Like, for my history is I've done 40 conventions at this point. That also includes the lands, at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a lot of mileage there. Riptide feels small in comparison. That just gives you the scale of how much, like, the types of events I go to. Like MagFest, MomoCon are all really unique convention experience. Of course, if you've been to MagFest, you will know the stories of the wireless Splatoon tournament, but that's for another story. No, that story can always be best summed up by Rose. Just Rose will always say that story. But no, like the convention is such a very different experience compared to your typical Smash or Splatoon land. Like Riptide again feels really small in comparison, but it has a different vibe to it.
And to keep things moving on, so there have been other events other than just MomoCon that has happened recently. But going a little bit further back, we have 4v4 Sundays that ended up going on. And Fern, I know you did a lot of research on just general teams that have made these the top four Sendu queue, and some of them has participated in this event.
Yeah, so the big names from 4v4 Sundays on a Saturday are Metro, which is a pickup of Zenith, Yoshell, Goss, and Atomic, and then Vanguard, the French super team. This is the major win Metro has, like, coming into the Sendu finale is 4v4 Sundays, including 3-1, 3-1 wins over Vanguard. So for them, it is kind of their major result. Like, this has been one of their really only two chances to prove themselves recently against contender teams in the Seniki finale, and kind of the best one so far. They looked very strong on their on the comp they have traditionally run with Atomic on roller, Splatoon 2 callback. But yeah, for Vanguard, it was a little bit more disappointing. Again, they lost 1-3, 1-3, but they also took down Hypernova plus Splat as a fifth in that tournament. So they are also looking pretty solid as well, taking down contender teams in 4v4 Sundays. So definitely one of the more, like, it could be telling for how those matchups might play out in the Seniki finale. They also could go either way. Like, Vanguard has beaten other really high level teams, but they've also lost other really high level teams, and same with Metro. So, but that was definitely like one of the more recent semi-stacked tournaments to look at.
Yeah, and another team in that also made the Sunday Q finals in 4v4 Sundays on the Saturday, placing at 7th was Healthy Diet Food Groups. They ended up losing to Close One, which is a team of Kit Kat, Acer, Pulley, and Fantar, which that team has only really lost to that Hypernova team and Metro as the only two other teams that Close One